So how do you give a brilliant presentation using only talking points? Well, that's what this video is all about. So like the video title says, today I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how you can make your next presentation really a brilliant one, only using talking points. Now, when it comes to presentation, people have different methods or different preferences, different styles. For some people, they just talk from their heads or whatever comes to their minds, and for them that is okay, right? Some other people like to use a teleprompter or an auto cue, which will help make your presentation a lot easier and of course a lot smoother, concise, and of course void of irrelevant rambling. I have a video here that shares tips on how you can be an ace presenter using a teleprompter, and you can check out that video by clicking the card over here. First of all, talking points are a set of easily remembered sentences or phrases that outline a presentation, which could be a proposal, it could be a project, an idea. Talking points keep you on track when you're in a conference or a meeting, when you're hosting a TV show, or even while making a YouTube video. So this is going to give your presentation structure, relevance, and character because it is fashioned after your own line of thought, and that's what makes it so special. So here are 7 tips for you on how to give a brilliant presentation using talking points. Number 1, be clear on the mission. So what are you trying to achieve with your presentation? Have you figured that out? What is the purpose of your presentation? Who is your audience really? And what are they supposed to learn or come away with from your presentation? When you have determined that, it's going to guide your focus and in the way that you want the presentation to go. For example, my mission with this video is to teach you, or at least to help you, make better and more brilliant presentations by using talking points, right? That's my mission. And my audience is definitely targeted at the upwardly mobile executive, aspiring or maybe already practicing media heads or media practitioners, and of course anyone who is interested to learn the skill. Because you never know when you might be called upon to make that one presentation, right? And you want to be ready for when that comes. Number 2, outline the most important points. Now, once you have clarified your mission and what you intend to do with your presentation, you can then go ahead and begin to outline the most important points that are going to highlight your topic or your message. Notice this: people are not likely to remember every single word they hear you say or they hear in your presentation, right? So you've got to make sure that your talking points are clear, they are simple and short, and of course to the point. Referring to our example of this particular presentation now, I have outlined 7 talking points for you. And the reason is because, firstly, I know you can handle that much information, and also because they are very important in learning this particular skill. I also wanted to give equal importance to all of the points, and that's why this particular presentation has 7 talking points. And when you have outlined your points, make sure that they are clearly articulated. Your talking points should get your audience to start thinking about the subject matter, about the message that you are trying to bring across. And it also should get them wanting learning more. So once you've written your talking points, you have to ask yourself if you've missed any important point. Have you covered every single thing? That's important for you to do. Number 3, arrange your points in logical order. It is so important that when you've outlined the best points that will adequately drive home the message of your presentation, you have to arrange them in a logical order, or in a logical sequence, in such a way that actually makes sense, and also in such a way that will make the most impact on your audience or your listeners. Now, some have said that the order in which the talking points come are not really that important. It doesn't really matter. But I think that if your message follows a logical sequence or a logical line of thought, the brain is more likely to process the information that you're passing across. For example, if your presentation has to do, for instance, with explaining a concept, Won't it make more sense really to start by defining terms or keywords instead of just diving straight in and assuming that your audience already knows what you're talking about or knows that the concept that you're outlining? In this case, definitions should come first, right? Maybe a short history or a background to your topic or your concept. So you may start out randomly listing the talking points as they come to you and as you think of them as you're starting to prepare your presentation. But ultimately, when you're done with that, it'll be good for you to rearrange them or for you to arrange them in such a way as to make the most logical sense. Number 4, give examples to support your talking points. Now, to best illustrate each point in outlining your presentation, you actually should have relevant examples to drive home your message. Let me illustrate this point. Now, if, for example, you've been following closely this particular presentation, you will probably notice I've been using this same presentation as examples for each of the points that we've discussed so far. In fact, I'm doing it right now. See? Yes. So in driving home your points, give the brain something it can relate to, something it can process. So when it is possible, make an illustration or give examples in order to highlight your points. The one thing that has helped me personally is to anticipate questions from my audience. Again, let me refer to the example of this particular presentation. Now, if you saw the topic of this tutorial, what would be the likely questions at the top of your minds? Things that you probably want to know or ask, or things that you want to have answered. For instance, likely questions could be, what materials do I need? Does this tutorial hold true in all situations? How exactly do I arrange my thoughts into the points that I want to talk about in my presentation? You'll find out that as you're asking yourself all of these questions, it's going to help, firstly, with the points that you're outlining, these answers that will really form the talking points and also give you the relevant examples to support your mission. Number 5, emphasize the benefits in your presentation. Now, the primary aim for making a presentation, giving a speech or a tutorial is to sell something, right? To give your audience something that they need, or something that would solve a problem, or something that will bring an answer to questions, or at the very least provoke a thought process through which you can then reach your audience and help them make an informed decision. Bearing that in mind, let your talking points always include the benefits or the value which you give in your presentation. For example, what is the benefit in this particular presentation? What value am I giving? And what do you stand to gain by watching this particular tutorial? Several things. Firstly, it's going to give you more confidence in making presentations or while pitching an idea, especially if you do not have a teleprompter at hand. Secondly, it could give you a preferred alternative to giving a full outright speech. Definitely is going to make you a better script writer and a better presenter. So always emphasize what your audience stands to benefit from considering and implementing your pitch. Number 6, end with a call to action. Now, if you want your audience to take some form of action or make some form of decision based on the information you have given them in your presentation, you need to tell them that. You've pitched them your idea, you have given them reasons to consider your particular line of thought. You've also shown them the benefits and the advantages of your presentation and the things they stand to gain. Now, this is the part where you challenge them to action. They should take some action. No tutorial, presentation, or pitch will do you any good if you don't act on it, right? If you don't act on what you have learned, it's not going to make any sense. There's always a practical side to learning something new, and you must guide your audience into taking those necessary steps in actually carrying out some form of action. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to make a brilliant presentation with talking points. Do it today. See, I just did it. Number 7, which is more like a bonus point, when you have the opportunity, practice your talking points. Now, I'm assuming that you were giving some time to actually prepare for a presentation. If that is the case, don't just stop at outlining your talking points for your presentation. If you have the time and the opportunity, then practice. Practice your talking points. Pretend that you're actually making that pitch right now. Pretend you're actually shooting that YouTube video or tutorial. Put yourself in the position where you are faced with this audience that you need to pitch your idea to. Practice, practice, practice. When you do that, you're going to get more conversant with the points that you want to talk about. It's going to flow more naturally. It's going to come more naturally to you. And remember that mastering any skill lies in repetition. The more you practice this, the easier and faster you will be able to put together a brilliant presentation or a brilliant speech and wow your audience. So, what other tips do you know currently and are employing when outlining or preparing a presentation? Please drop me a comment in the section below. Do like this video if you found it informative. Quickly subscribe if you're yet to and have your notification bell activated so you're not ever going to miss any other video ever. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.